We are back with another show with Rima Talk Live. Actually, this show is super special. We've been out for a couple weeks and we are back with the one amazing person, a great friend of mine. I've known him for so many years, Sam Abraham. He's a master in psychology, life coach, has master in family and marriage therapy. Education consulting, school counselor for 15 years. I believe you did the counseling in the Antelope Valley.
Correct. Yes. High school and middle school.
High school and middle school. And he's done real estate. He's now in mortgage. He's got a record of success and background. You name it, this guy has it. And I'm super, super honored and proud to have him in my show today. Sam, thank you so much for joining me. I know you are a busy man, and I appreciate you being here this morning. Thank you for coming.
The pleasure is mine. Rima, you are one of my favorite people in the world. I love your energy. I love your outlook on life. I love what you continue to do with your life daily. And it is an honor to be with you today on the show.
I thank you. I appreciate you. So, Sam, tell me a little bit about yourself. Although I introduced you, just tell the audience a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, and all that good stuff.
Family moved to the U.S. When I was 11. I was born in Egypt, about 15, 20 minutes away from the pyramids. Didn't get a chance to see the pyramids while I was there. It took me another 14 years. At age 25, I got a chance to go see the pyramids and do the touristy thing. Came here, did not speak a word of English. Thankfully, I came young enough. A couple of years in elementary, middle school, and high school. Went on to do my graduate program in psychology and counseling. Love the field of being around people and helping people and leaving them great to the potential instead of their limitations. So.
Okay, and what made you decide to get into the psychology world?
I was born into a blended family. My dad's first wife passed away, leaving him with 4 kids. He actually married my mom and had 4 more. And the dynamics alone just left me leaving a lot of questions and curiosity. But also when I was little, my dad is a pastor. He would go to visit families. And I remember at age 6 or 7, and they're talking about family dynamics and issues. And my first thought is, what happened? Who initiated what, and how can that be fixed? And it's, so I developed an interest at a very, very young age to the family. So.
Awesome. So our subject today, Sam, it's the 7 decisions that will be discussed for own personal success. And how do we stay positive in this crazy world? How do we stay productive? I know so many things are happening all over the world, not just here in the United States. And it's hard. It's hard for people to take it all in. It's hard for people to stay focused, to stay motivated, get up in the morning and be passionate about what they want to do and what they should do. So being in your profession, having your background and having all that education, I know you want to take us to the 7 decisions. So can you go ahead and take it from here and just help us out in this crazy world?
Definitely very unknown territory, a lot of unknown expectations of what's going on. I think people didn't realize what we were getting into. Life was busy and hectic to begin with, Rima, as you know. Most people are so caught up in the rat race that they really have a downtime, to sit there and do an inventory of their life. Am I enjoying the life? Am I living the life I love? What is this all about? I read this quote and I really want to share it with us. We live our first 40 years of our life we're trying to reach success, and the next 40 years of our life looking for significance. You ask anybody when they're younger, do you want to be successful? Absolutely. Do you want to be popular, well-known, and rich? Absolutely. And so we get so focused and zoomed in on that to the point that success at whatever cost. And we don't know what a price we're paying in the process or what we're neglecting internally. something around the age 40, 45, interestingly, we begin to say, hey, now that I do have the money, now that I do have the position, now that I do have the title, now what? I want to feel fulfilled. There's something inside of us that cries out for significance, for fulfillment, for purpose, for something bigger than just, yay, I have a lot of money or I have a big title. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you watched my video. I did a video, I believe yesterday or the day before, regarding success and regarding, like, we go on a speed race, like you mentioned, aiming for that success. But what is it? What's success? What success mean? Success is means a lot to each
Differently to every people.
person.
Absolutely.
For me,
Absolutely.
success is not just making a lot of money. Like, there's so many ways to be successful, and I believe you have to celebrate the small things, because that's success. Success is every single day
100%.
you acknowledge it.
And it would be really good, since we're on the topic, to make a distinction between success and significance. For example, Mike Tyson was successful. He was very well known. Is he significant? Is he changing people's lives? You know, Michael Jackson. Some people can argue, yes, he changed people's life through music. One of the greatest, best singer and artist. Significance, if you compare him between Martin Luther King, between Abraham Lincoln, between George Washington. Yes. So for me, success is about focusing on me. If you really want to define the two, success is, I'm going to reach a title, a position, or an amount of money. And most of the time, unfortunately, at the expense of something, either by neglecting something else, someone else, or putting aside some of the stuff that may be important to me. Significance.
Can you kind of take us a little bit deeper on that by saying, because I believe to get to where you need to go, there is no balance in life. And you kind of touch a little bit, something has to give. There is a pain there is a pain there to get to where you need to be, and something has to give. And what do you
100%. When we're talking about a price to pay, we're not saying, yes, if I want to go to the gym and have a fit body and a lean body, there's a price. I mean, I have to discipline myself to wake up early. I noticed some of your emails are 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So hats off to you. Amazing. I don't know too many people that would be disciplined to get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But that's the price. The price I was talking about earlier is, I'm going to be successful at the expense of my values, my morals. I'm going to step on the people that matters to me most. I'm going to skip having dinners with my family because I need that extra 1,000 or that million or whatever. That's the one that's not recommended. As some people say, it's okay. I'm going to work hard now and later I'll make it up to the family. But sadly, later does not come with the kids still being at home. They're grown. They're out of the house. I have a buddy of mine. He tears every time he talks with pain inside of him. He said, me and my wife said, let's build our life. Let's pay off our house. Let's get ahead. Let's go for the American dream. And then we can start vacationing and spending time with the family. He goes, by the time we start realizing the kids were already first year in college, they're out of the house. I cannot bring them back and create those memories again. When they were little and they wanted to play tickle monsters and they wanted to just roll it together in bed and have breakfast together. That's what I'm referring to. Can you be successful and have a balance? The trick is balance. And I believe at one point, I was hoping, and that was kind of circling back to the pandemic, everybody was on lockdown. It gave a chance everybody to sit there and hopefully do an inventory of their life. What is my life about? Am I even doing what I really love doing? It doesn't matter if people think it's a cool thing, it's a cool job, it has the coolest title. Am I enjoying my life every day when I'm going to work? I remember the first year I was a counselor at Antelope Valley High School in Lancaster. I kid you not, Rima, I used to sit there and put my hands back for a minute and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're paying me, they're giving me a paycheck to sit here and talk to youth, to high schoolers, and make a difference. It's something I've enjoyed. I've always enjoyed working with that age group. Of course, I worked with parents, I worked with teachers, I worked with administrators to get them, ready for college and get them to be successful in school. But it's beautiful to be able to do something you love. You knew that I got my real estate license, and this is how we met, through Keller Williams back then. But guess what? I had to make a choice. Do I go after real estate and money alone and success, or do I still reach for significance? Luckily, I was able to do both. School got out at 2:15, 2:30. In the afternoons, I scheduled some of my real estate appointments in the evenings. Now, again, this is me. Everybody makes their choices, but understand, if we want, here's the other part. When you reach a life of significance, success is there with it. It may not be the success that people are saying, oh my gosh, you got 20 million in the bank. Oh my gosh, everybody knows you and your face is on all the magazines. You define what is, like you said earlier, what is success to you? Success for me, Sam Abraham, is coming home and knowing that I'm a good husband to my wife. My kids say, oh my gosh, I was riding, I took Samuel one day and I took Faith one day to Home Depot to pick up some things. And I said, why do you like hanging out with Baba? What do you love about Baba? You know what their response was? Because you like to hang around us. You like to tickle us. You like to have fun. You're funny. Baba, you're not boring. You're always finding ways to be fun. To me, that's success. I mean, somebody else my age, even younger, may have $20 million in his bank, but where's the family relationship? How is that? So, but if that's the most important, and again, I'm not knocking down anyone, bless your heart, right? If this is what you want and this is what's important to you, then be it. So,
what makes you happy?
I've been talking for a while.
No. It's like, what makes you happy? That's what I'm hearing. It's what makes you happy. That's what we
Correct.
should. Yes.
So living a life you love. Living a life you love. Every single day. For you discovered biking, hiking, being in the gym, physically being the best version of Rima Rafi that you can be. And then from there, that's the physical part. There's 4 components to us. We have the physical, the mental and emotional is one component. You have the spiritual, and you have, right? So you have the physical, the mental, emotional, the psychological, and the spiritual. To reach significance, to be successful, at one point you have to say there's certain do's and don'ts. It's almost like building a building, Rima. We're in real estate. In order to have a house that's successful, you cannot have a house without having 4 concrete pillars, right? Those are the foundation, and the foundation on the bottom. And the stronger the foundation, the deeper the foundation that's down, the higher you can go and the stronger your house can stand. So deciding on how high you want to go in life, how balanced and fulfilling your life is at one point, and say, what are going to be my 7 pillars or my 4 pillars? What are my must do's and must not do's in life? And sadly, a lot of people don't get a chance to do that. And I was hoping during the pandemic, everybody have a chance to sit there. We're all on lockdown. Nobody's going anywhere, right? We can sit there and say, you know what is really important? I ran and I got that position. I got that title. I got that promotion. I made that money. I put the money in the bank. I opened a business. Now what? Am I fulfilled? If you are, bless your heart. Great, wonderful. You've attained it. What is lacking? Did you achieve this at the expense of what? One of the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey, says, don't let the things that matter the most be at the mercy of the things that matter least, right? 100%. The things that matter the most. And each person is different. So again, for some, it might be family. For somebody else, it's looks. I want my face to be the prettiest face and all over the magazines. For others, it's money. I made the most money with what I started with compared to what I started with, but you got to be true to you.
and ignore the noise out there, because you know,
100%.
yeah, that's what I keep telling people and telling the people around me: ignore the noise. And the noise by the society, the noise. Now we have the social media that's like everybody in the other side looking famous and looking with have money and wealth, and makes it look so easy, but it's not. It's just ignore the noise, ignore what's out there, and focus on you, focus on what you're doing every single day and how you can achieve that, no matter what it is, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's family. It's just when we, like you mentioned, when we focus on us, we can make a lot of people around us happy. Because I mean, selfishly, we have to come first, because we have to take care of us first. Because if we don't take care of us, nobody, if we don't love us, we're not going to be able to love anyone.
100%.
So,
One cannot give what one does not have. If I do not have self-love, even if you look at some of the biblical terms, it says, he says, what is the greatest commandment? He says, the love the Lord or your creator from all your heart. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Meaning what? I have to love myself. He knows you're going to love yourself. God knows how much you're going to be in love with yourself, command, to be the best in looks, in finances, in social. And he goes, you know what? Just as much as you want for yourself, be able to love your neighbor the same. That's the culture of win-win. Hey, let's see if I can help you in the process, in our struggle together. Every morning when I see you, I don't want to wait like, well, why should I be the first one to say good morning? Be the first one to say good morning. Why should I be the first one to say hello? Be the first one to say hello.
it's free. It's not going to hurt anything.
Right? Utilize that smile. You said something earlier, and I love that. It says, I read this also. It says, people buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they really don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
sadly,
they don't like, and they don't know.
And they don't know. But hoping I get extra, 100 likes, or comments on Facebook. And this is how we gauge our value and importance. Versus, am I true to me? I'm a person of faith. I'm not a religious person. I'm a person of faith. I believe you got to, at one point, make peace with your maker, because some people say this is it. We die and we go. I don't think so. There's got to be more to it. I don't think this whole universe was created just for 70, 80, 90 years and peace out and we're done, right? There's more significance.
There's energy, yes.
Right? So if there's something else, and obviously there's a greater design. I cannot tell you this phone just poof out of nowhere made itself. You would say I'm crazy. I'm saying, Rima, guess what, man? This phone has got a unique story, right?
Right.
What is it? It just made itself. One day I just saw all the parts come together and poof. If this is a human-made product, and it's hard to believe, what about the human body? What about the world? So there is a grand designer. There's a greater power than us. So I would like to invite people, part of your significance and your happiness is to say, hey, if I am created for something bigger, what is my purpose in life? That's what's going to give me the fulfillment and purpose. Not just for me to think about me, and only me. Only. You will attain success without the significance. You'll attain the success without the fulfillment.
100%.
So,
go ahead.
The question you asked is, how do you stay positive in a negative world?
Yes. Especially with everything that's going on in this world.
So it's circling back. Know who is your influencer. Sadly, we allowed social media, the TV, the environment, the culture, everybody else around to be our source of input. We all know the terminology of computer: garbage in, garbage out. Wow. Right? What's your feed? What is coming in? If this is what we're engaging our life with, then guess what? We're always going to be lacking, because there's always going to be somebody better looking than Sam Abraham, more money than Sam Abraham, has more degrees than Sam Abraham or Rima, right? Oh my gosh, I'm going to feel like a failure. Or lacking. And then we live with the mentality of, if I have this or when I have that, then I'm not quite there. I'm not fully able to enjoy my day because I feel I don't have something that I still, and this is the carrot that people are chasing, or most of us are chasing for the most part. And that phrase is not verbalized, but this is the mental internal. I don't know if I lost you. Are you with me?
No, I'm here. Can you see me?
Okay. I see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That the phrase of if then or when then. When I get married, this is some of the phrases I hear in some of my sessions, coaching sessions. When I get this promotion, when I win the lottery, when I buy my first business, when I attain my first 20 million or 10 million, or, it's almost like I cannot be fulfilled. I cannot be happy. I cannot be content. I cannot have an enjoyable day because I have this if then, when then mentality. I'm not whole and complete to enjoy what I have. And sadly, either we're regretting some of the past or worrying about the future, and we leave the present, which is today. And then tomorrow's present becomes again, and it's just a cycle. I'm losing it again. I'm losing it again. So I don't know if I answered the question or I.
Yeah, definitely. And just people are not realizing, especially with this negative environment that we've been living. I mean, COVID, and now a lot of things happening all over the world. People lost their jobs. We have loss of lives through the COVID and everything else. So it's tough. It's tough on a lot of people to kind of stay positive, and I totally get it. It just, I believe, like, if we kind of like get up every day and not looking at the blessings that we have, because I believe most of us, God blessed us way more than the other way around. What we look about, for human being, we have the nature that we were kind of like brought with, or we kind of think of negative more than positive.
All right.
And every time if we don't help ourselves, or like you mentioned, surround ourselves with the right environment, you are who you hang out with. And I totally
100%.
believe in that. If you're gonna
Be
hang
careful
out,
who's your source of input.
if
If
you
it's
hang out with
social,
people who are gonna nag all the time and whine and feeling miserable for their life, guess what? You're gonna be miserable.
or
And
size you up based on how much money you have, what is your title, what is your position, you're not going to be happy. If they focus on your limitation instead of your potential, you're not going to be happy. One more time. Most people, sadly, focus on their limitation. I cannot do this. I'm not able to do that. I'm controlled from, allowing me to. So that's their limitation instead of their potential. We have both of them equally available to us, or on the desktop of our day, right? Which one do I focus on, my limitation or my potential? So the 7 decisions actually we're going to be discussing, they're not just for your personal success, but significance and happiness.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right. The first one, and this is taken from The Traveler's Gift. This is a book that was written by Andy Andrews, also on CD. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I met the man, amazing author, wrote tons of books, but he's got an interesting story. Both his parents passed away when he was very young. He was literally under a bridge, homeless for years, contemplating suicide. And he said, the only thing before I take my life out, my life is not mine anyway, I'm going to give it up. He went into the library, and this is when he discovered Ogmund Dino's book, The Greatest Salesman. And from there, he said, man, if these people spend years learning and discovering something, and I have a chance to spend hours or days reading what they've gone through, if I can attain their life experience and their knowledge, wow. And he just finished one book to the second, to the third and fourth, which is going to be one of our pillars of decisions. So the 7 decisions for personal success are taken from The Traveler's Gift. Shout out to Andy Andrews. Got a chance to meet him live several years ago. Amazing man. And I'm actually thinking of doing a show, and maybe we'll invite him to your show, Rima. He'll be an honored person. Very successful, best time author, but very humble and down to earth, and a person of great influence. First one he talks about is the buck stops here. At one point, I cannot continue to blame. If I need power to move forward, to change how I feel, how I think, and how I see the world and how I see myself today, if I need that power, I have to take that power back from the person I blamed. One more time. If I'm blaming somebody for my past mistakes, my past financial failures, then I've given that person what? The power. Oh, I didn't do it. It's not me. It was him. So who had the power of influencing my past? That person. Okay,
Right.
great. Unless you take the power back and say, you know what? I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to continue to blame you anymore. I'm going to stop blaming you. Moving forward, I am the responsible force. Moving forward, only I am responsible for my past, present, and my future. I cannot and will not blame anyone for what happened to me yesterday or today, socially, emotionally, mentally, or financially. So at one point, the first decision we're gonna make is the buck stops here. If I'm
During
gonna be
start.
successful, if I'm gonna be happy, if I wanna get in shape, if I wanna surround myself with the right, it is up to me. I
Gotta
cannot
take
say I am here,
charge.
right? Take charge. When you blame, you surrender the power. And if you've given it to somebody else to influence you, hey, guess what? If I made bad choices, some people say it's really hard because that I'm taking responsibility for marrying the wrong person, for getting into the wrong business. How can I take? It's hard for me to live with that ugly, painful decision, right? Because most people blame others because it's really painful to take on that responsibility for themselves. But guess what? If just as I was capable to make bad decisions, I'm also capable of making what? Good decisions. But now at least I have the power. Hey, I made bad decisions in the past. Now, can I learn from that bad decisions? What can I do about them now? Just as I'm capable of making not so great decisions, guess what? I'm also capable of making good and great decisions. That will be fulfilling to me. So that's
Yes.
decision number one. Decision number two. Ready? Or do you have any questions or comments on that one?
No, ready.
All right. Here's something. I choose to seek wisdom. We live in the age of technology, Rima. There's nothing that you want to know about that is not available already, either on YouTube, on Google. Literally, we have more technology readily available to us now more than ever. But we're mistaking knowledge, information, and wisdom. It's not the same.
Yes.
Wisdom seeks to be gathered. Wisdom is knowing when and how and learning from the experiences of others. Wisdom also includes the word others. When I make a decision to get into a business or a relationship or do whatever by myself, I'm only relying only on what?
On yourself.
On what I know and what I've gone through. When I reach out to Rima and I say, Rima, I'm thinking about buying a fourplex. I'm thinking about investing in this area. I already have my life experience, my wisdom, my past, but also I'm tapping into who? Yours. And
But here's
especially as
let me stop you there for a second. That comes a lot with ego.
absolutely.
It's just the ego kills us, and that's a totally different subject. I want to have you continue, but it's just like ego kills a lot of people from they're killing themselves because their ego's so big to be vulnerable and to
They're putting a ceiling on their level of wisdom.
100%.
And thank you for bringing that up because with wisdom, there's humility. When I seek Rima's knowledge, when I seek Ben's knowledge, when I seek Bob's knowledge, and however these people are, and it doesn't mean I don't have any of my own. There was a gentleman, excuse me, at the age of 32, multi-millionaire. They said, to what do you attribute your success? He says a lot of, it was hard work, without a doubt. But I have 8 PhDs. They said, you have 8 PhDs. You can barely finish one in your age, even if you finished college at the right time, and then your master's and your doctorate all together. That's 10 years plus of schooling. He says, no, not my personal 8. I have 8 PhDs on my staff. I cannot be an expert in every area. I reach out to them and hear their feedback. I thought that story was interesting, and it tapped into something that reminded me that King Solomon, known to every religion, every man, as the wisest man in the world. If you read further, he had 8 advisors. King Solomon could have easily said, talk about ego. Excuse me. At age 12, I asked God, to give me wisdom, and he granted me wisdom. Interestingly, he didn't ask for power. He didn't ask for respect. He didn't ask for riches. He asked for what? Wisdom to lead the people in the right way. It was not about himself. It was about what? Others. That's part of wisdom and significance. Mm-hmm. And God says, because you seek wisdom, you will have the riches, the fame, you have everything else. But he had 8 advisors, Rima. He could have easily said, hold on a second. I'm the king. I have the position. I have the title. And God granted me more wisdom than anybody else. Why do I need to ask you?
True.
That's where the humility is. That made him wiser and wiser, because now, and it doesn't mean that I don't know when I ask somebody else. It could be something else in my blind spot I'm not aware of. Right? Or if I am aware and 1, 2, 3, 4 people say exactly the same thing, that's confirmation I'm on the right track. Right? Interestingly, also, Tiger Woods had 8 coaches, or still has 8 coaches. What? Nobody else holds the title. He's one of the greatest golfers in the world. He could also easily think that if you are just as good as me or better, for me to ask you for advice, you would have the title. You're not. I'm the better. But he sees something, whether it's the swing, whether it's the pause, whether it's the power, whether it's the angle, whatever it is, you might have a perspective, right, that I don't. So I seek wisdom. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said so true.
With part of wisdom, I'm going to suggest 2 things. Read. Not just the sports magazine and the swimwear and the fun magazines. I'm talking about read things that people spend time sharing their life knowledge and experience in it. When we talk to kids at school and they say, I only read 1 or 2 books a year, we say, oh my gosh, why? You should be reading more, right? We want our kids to read more.
Right.
Sadly, when was the last time you talked to an adult that reads more than 1 or 2 books in his whole entire lifetime?
Exactly.
Where we're getting our source again of knowledge, of wisdom, of power, of balance, right? So first advice is read. Second, make it about others. So wisdom, I will be the servant of others. For when I decide alone, I'm only relying on my knowledge as I shared my experiences. But when I seek counsel of others, I gain the knowledge and wisdom from them. And whatever I learn and I teach somebody else, it makes me feel fulfilled and great. I helped. I was part of that person's success, right? Even if I just allow them to be present to the greatness they have or the potential they have. That's all. Number 3, I'm a person of action. If I have, I made a decision, I'm not going to blame others, and I'm seeking wisdom, but I sit there and I cannot decide on anything, being so undecisive, fearful of making the wrong decision or not at the right time, I'm not going to go anywhere. One thing I remember when I first met you, Rima, and I will never forget this day. You signed up for the class of 7 habits. You came in there ready to...
We're live, Sam, okay?
What? Is that...
I said, I'm live, okay?
Of course. From day one, I met you. You were eager to learn and grow. You were committed to becoming the best you ever. And this is why I attribute your success. The real estate part will come to everybody. The business part will come. The sales part will come. How committed are you to being the best version of you? How committed are you to growing and taking action? You brought a notepad and you sat in the classroom, ready to soak up every piece of information you can to make you a better person. You took
It's,
action.
yeah, it's a work in progress for every one of us. It's work in progress. It never stops. We have to work on
Absolutely.
ourselves every single day.
And again, but this is just bringing a simple point from somebody that everybody knows and sees and loves, and they're watching the show. A person of action. I seize the moment. I choose now. Successful men. This is powerful, and this is a quote from Andy Andrews. Successful men and women decides quickly, but change their mind slowly. Unlike who decide slowly. Some people take forever to decide. And the minute they decide on a decision to sign up to go to the gym or a personal growth class, I don't know if that's the right thing. That's too much money. They either cancel, withdraw, or not show up.
Right.
See the difference? Successful people decides quickly. I made a decision, but they don't change their mind fast. Decide fast. And then when they have their cold feet and their second thought or buyer's remorse about the program they bought or whatever they did, hold on a second. Before I back out, I'm not going to be the first one to quit. I want to see that am I just being scared? Because it's change. It's something different, right? We tend to hang on to.
It's patient. We have to be patient with ourselves. Whatever we're doing, it takes patience. It's not. People want life to be microwavable, and it's not. No matter what you do, there's no microwave here. The process has to take time, and you have to be patient with it and trust it.
100%. And anytime I do something different, it is going to feel uncomfortable. It is okay. One of the best phrases I learned in life: learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. If you're in a new field, if you're becoming a new person, if you're hitting the gym, if you're learning a new trade, you're going to feel like a zero, not a hero anymore. I know a lot of things in my old job, and that was my golden handcuffs. I was making pretty decent money, and I knew it like the back of my hands. I knew I had the respect of people. But guess what? It's not allowing me to challenge myself and grow. It's uncomfortable to start a new arena, a new field, and know nothing.
Right.
We tend to hold on and hug that uncomfortable, even if it's bad for us, or even if it's good. Another book that I really recommend if you're reading is Gary Collins' Good to Great. One of his phrases says, "Good becomes the enemy of great," because we settle for good because it's comfortable, it's known, it's familiar, and we will never see great. We'll never experience great at that expense.
Yep.
So, quick recap: the buck stops here. I make the choice. 2, I seek wisdom, and wisdom is reading books, knowledge, and about others, and get feedback. 3, I'm a person of action. 4, I have a decided heart. The person I love to give attribute to that was Christopher Columbus. Everybody thought he was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean the world is round? What do you mean you're going to circle around and come back again to Earth? You're going to keep going this way. You're going to end up in no man's land. You're going to die out there. He said, nope, unless I try, I'll never know. I have a decided heart. And once I decide on something and I feel it's tugging at my heart, I'm gonna go after it. Even if it's not easy, even if I make the wrong choices, I will decide. My destiny is assured. To have that passion inside of you and that fire that drives you. And by the way, Rima, I not to just toot your horn or compliment you, I feel you are possessing and practicing a lot of these decisions already in your life. And most of us are to certain degrees, bits and pieces. But now that we have a title on them and we are able to label them, and I'll be happy to, actually send out a printout if anybody asks for them from your show.
That'd be great.
A committed heart looks for solutions, but an undecided heart looks for what? Excuses.
That's a good one.
One more time. A committed heart looks for solutions. An uncommitted heart or undecided heart looks for excuses and an escape. And whatever we look for, we will find. This is Sam Abraham's little quote.
Yeah.
I learned that. If I'm looking for the negative in my kids, I'll find them. In my spouse, I'll find them. In the world around me, there's plenty, especially now. If I look for the positive. So let's check ourselves and say, what am I looking for? Am I looking for a way to resolve something? or an excuse to get out of something.
And some days you have to look a little deeper than others. So
A
you can
whole
find
lot deeper. A whole lot deeper. A whole lot deeper. Amen. The fifth one you're going to love. Today, I choose to be happy. And then tomorrow is going to be today, right? Or I also choose to be happy. And the day after, I choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. And happiness is not dependent on what I have, but what I choose or how I choose to look at what I have.
100%.
Happiness is a choice, and I'm going to throw this out there and people may get mad at me. Love also is a choice. I can choose to love somebody. Now, there's different types of love, as we know that. Like, right, there's the romantic love, and you just love that person's everything about them, or you choose to love them despite of. And the best example I want to give for that is moms. The minute they find out they're pregnant, I think most moms choose, I'm going to love my baby. And no matter how many stretch marks, how many pounds they gain, how much it throws their body off whack. I have 5 sisters, 23 nephews and nieces, so I've seen this on my own wife and 2 kids. I've seen this process over and over, and I studied from the physiological and the psychological part. There is a commitment to love that baby. You haven't seen it. You don't know if it's going to be cute, ugly, if it's going to be a great citizen or a mass murderer out there. You chose to love that baby. And the level of the success of that child depends on how much you chose to love them and nurture that relationship. Would you agree with me?
Oh, 100%.
The more the parent spends time saying, I love you, I'm committed to your success, no matter whether that child is difficult, the strong-willed, the rebellion, annoying, whatever, I'm going to love you and be the best mom for you ever. So love is what? A choice.
And no matter what your child does to you, you're going to love them no matter what. And if we look at that in the way we see others, no matter how they are, we will live with much loving world than what we
Amen.
have today.
If we transfer that to our spouses, if we transfer that to our co-workers, if we transfer that to our job or our day, I'm going to love today. I'm going to love today. I'm going to be happy today. I choose to be happy. And that was the topic of today. That was decision number 5. And we only have 2 more, and then we'll open up for question. I choose to be happy. I'm the possessor of a grateful heart. People who are happy focus on what they have. Even if it's little, they project it to be enough. Even if it's little, they're so thankful. And I believe from my own personal life and my own life experience with my kids, if my kids are being ungrateful, I will never reward them and give them more. When they say thank you for Baba, thank you so much for spending time with me, or saying thank you for playing tickles, or buy me some gum or candy. Oh my gosh, I want to buy you more, because they're thankful, they're grateful, they're happy with whatever I gave them. When I give my daughter Samuel something, I say, is that it? That's too small. Well, how come he got more? What do you want to do? Give him more?
Oh.
Right? So I believe the same analogy falls. The more grateful you are and happy with what you have, even if it's very little.
True.
Very little. I love the phrase, the man who was complaining he didn't have shoes until he looked at the man who had no feet.
Appreciate
Man, he's walking. Right? Comments, feedback on that one before we go on to the next one?
Nope.
Beautiful. Number 6, I have a forgiving heart. This is a difficult one.
For a lot of people.
Yes. The ego, our emotions get so hurt, and we feel, if I forgive that person for what they've done, it's almost I'm excusing what they've done. It's almost saying what hurt happened did not happen, or it didn't matter, or it wasn't that great. All right? Or I'm giving them permission to do it again.
Right. But again, when you forgive, you are in a way putting that chapter, whatever it is, behind you, and you're moving on with your life for you, not for that person. Because like you
Um,
mentioned, I believe, yeah, it just one of the law that you mentioned, it just, we keep living in the past, and it keeps hurting us and depriving us from happiness, from living life to the fullest, from moving forward in something bigger and better for us, to better us. And just we're stuck on that phase that we cannot get out of it. Because again, I believe ego plays a big part of it. Because if you
huge.
say, Sam, I forgive you for whatever happened in 10 years ago, it's just like, oh my God, like I'm such a small person now, which is not, this is not
You're
what
a
it's all
much
about.
bigger person.
Exactly.
When you forgive someone, or sorry, let's go back. When you don't forgive someone, it's literally like walking into a steel bar or a prison cell, locking yourself in and handing the key outside, throwing the key outside. It's a self-imprisonment. The hurt is real. The damage is real. It was great. When you forgive somebody, who do you set free? Yourself or the other person?
Yourself.
Yourself. 100%. Again, no one has to ask for it. No one has to deserve it. They don't even have to be around and alive to receive it. But when you forgive them, you're saying, you know what? I want to gain my power back to live my life. This happened in the past. I need to draw a very significant, clear line that this is the past. I cannot let, I may be a product of my past. I don't want to remain a prisoner to my past.
Yep. Let it shape. I mean, we cannot ignore our past and what happened. If we can acknowledge it, recognize it, and move on and away from it. Because we all have past. We've all done mistakes. We've all fought with people. We've all burned some bridges at one point or another. It just, if we make peace with it and don't let the past affect what's happening today, because it's gone. There's nothing we can do or change anything about it. It just, once we acknowledge and recognize that, anybody can move on and live a happier life and a better life.
Absolutely. And I love to make a distinction that most people, it's not even in the Bible, it's not even in the spiritual books. People say forgive and forget. Forgiving is about the past, forgetting is about the future. Meaning, I can forgive you because that's in the past. For me to deal with you again in the future, I cannot forget. So, based on how I choose to set this up, right? I
I,
thank you. As somebody just wrote, you forgive, but you don't necessarily mean you forget. Absolutely. And it is not wise. I should remember if it's a mistake that happened, it was a painful situation, I can forgive. What I choose to do moving forward, forget or not forget, decides on the future. So we need to understand that forgiving has two parts. One, the past, and then the future. I can forgive you. I don't have to forget. I don't have to deal with you again. But I forgive you so I can release the power back to me. Forgiveness costs nothing and is worth millions, but only when I give it away. One more time. Forgiveness costs nothing, but worth millions only when I give it away. I can choose to forgive daily. No one has to ask for it, earn it, or deserve it. It's not for them. It's
for
for
me.
who? For me. The people that I've noticed that are happier and more successful and are just thriving in life are the people that have embraced so far some of these six decisions or pillars, right? Or habits. And the last one, and we'll wrap up because I don't want to take too much of your day and your life, is I will persist without exception. All that is wonderful. But if I give up or give in or quit
It's all
in the
gone to
process, then I have not attained. A man had a dream. Also, Andy Andrews shares. He says he had a dream and he went up to heaven, and there's this amazing, huge size warehouse with amazing lights, but inside that place, so many inventions, cures for diseases, amazing technology, just beautiful things that would have made life and the whole world a much amazing place. He says, I'm sorry, what is this place? And why don't we have access to that? He goes, these are the technologies and the medicine and the research that people quit one try too short. They were almost there, but they gave up.
Yep. And I see it over and over again. Rolando said there is a difference between forgiving and reconcile.
Beautiful. I can forgive, and if I want a relationship with you again, then I look into reconciliation. When that person has apologized and is remorse, and then based on how I feel with that reconciliation process, I can choose to move forward with that and to what capacity. And I would suggest don't jump in full-heartedly. Oh, okay, I forgive you. He said, I'm sorry. Trust is, trust was compromised. Obviously, there's the hurt because the trust was betrayed. There's a hurt that happened. Start slowly and build your way up there.
And you don't, unless, like you mentioned, you want to, you don't have to forgive and reconcile. You can just forgive and move on and be happy with your decision.
There's nowhere in the Bible or any book I read, forgive and forget. This is one of those myths that has been written out there and been misquoted forever. I looked for it. I studied psychology and religion, actually, and I searched and I looked for it. There is no verse that says forgive and forget. The only person that forgives and forget is God, our sins, our mistakes, or whatever, because he created us and he loves us. He wants a relationship with us, and he knows we're a fallen, mistaken people. He's the only person that does that. He didn't ask us to do that. Anyway, just FYI clarification.
So going again to our crazy world right now, what's one thing, if somebody's in a funk hearing you today and wanting to do something and take action today to change something they're going through in their life, what would you say and what would you suggest?
I wish there's only just one thing that you can do, but if there's only one, there's going to be a few things. Just like building a house, I can just say bring bricks or just paint. To build a house, you need you're building a new lifestyle, a new way of thinking. It's got to involve, but the first thing is decide I deserve better. If there's only one thing, and once you say I deserve better, I want to live a life that is fulfilling, a life that I love, what do I need to do now? Once you seek, the rest will come and fall into place, one piece at a time, one day at a time. And then, surround yourself obviously with the people that are committed to your success. There's good people that feel amazing by being there next to you in the process.
Energy. You can choose to be around positive energy or negative energy. They're both energy, but which route?
Which one do you want to be part of? Absolutely, 100% agree. So if there's only one thing, is ask yourself, do I deserve better? Or this is it? And if I say this is it, know that this is your choice. That choice was not made for you. You chose this is it. I don't deserve better. I don't have to change, and I'm going to remain in my misery or my complacency or my situation or whatever that is. But if there's one thing, ask yourself, do I deserve better? And if so, what do I need to do? I want to live a life that I love. Moving forward. Tomorrow is not promised, by the way, Rima. People sometimes forget. We hear so many people, especially the last year and a half, people are leaving us and passing away like crazy. Young, old, there's no formula, and whether it's the COVID or the Delta or just whatever disease, and they're putting the label on it, regardless, our life, forget COVID. People, I've seen people within the last 2 years before COVID, a gentleman driving out of the hospital, he's a doctor, taking the same route, cuts through an alley to get to the street where he gets on the freeway, a truck with pipes backing out. He did not see it. The pipe pierced through the windshield and pierced through his heart, passed away immediately at age 50.
Seconds.
And he literally 2 weeks after was his daughter's engagement.
Yep.
So he didn't wake up in the morning thinking today is my last day, and so on and so on and so on. We hear about people in the drive-through getting a bullet in Vegas out of nowhere, like, oh my gosh, just a stray bullet, or a car accident, so on. By all means, may we all live a very long and prosperous and healthy life, but tomorrow is not promised.
Life happens. Life happens to every one of us. Life happens. And that's what we don't realize, that we are here today. Let's make the best out of it. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to
Absolutely.
be happy. We deserve to be living life to the fullest, whether we have a day, whether we have two, whether we have a year. I mean, who knows? It's just, we owe it to us. We owe it to the people around us. We owe it to the community. We owe it to the world to give 100% of what we are, which is hopefully great things for everyone. It's funny because I was having a conversation with my coach the other day, which I've been in a funk lately. And it's a decision, like you mentioned, it's a decision. You get up every day, you want to do better. Like, you can shut the door and go home, and you're still probably going to be okay for a while. Is that what you want? And is that what's going to help you and help what you're going through? And it's just amazing if we look at it this way. It's like, okay, I'm going to be negative, I'm going to be down. What's that going to do? It's going to create more negative environment for me and the people around me more than anything else. So just a thought to put it out there.
100% agree. We cannot go back, and there's no redo or undo or play over. Every day that's gone, it's gone. And it just brings us closer to the end of our life. And even if we live, Rick Warren, one of my favorite authors also, he says, what's worse than dying is living a life without purpose or without passion or significance. If I'm living life just barely surviving, just existing instead of thriving and being fulfilled, we all deserve, we're here. Another phrase that I heard that was really beautiful: who you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift back to God. And to myself and to my kids, my family members around me. Life can be beautiful. It has its challenges. I want to finalize one last.
Life is not perfect, not for anybody. It's just how we choose to face the imperfection every day. It's not perfect for any of us. Like, I'm sure it's not perfect for you. You have your ups, you have your downs, you have your days, you have your cries, and all of everything that life throws at us. But it's the matter of how we address it and how we face it and how we deal with it. That's what makes us living that larger life. Because if it was good for everyone, I mean, it would be boring too. If we're given everything, it's going to be super, super boring, and we're going to be depressed because we're bored. So we can't win.
We have choices, and this is what I want to leave with, unless you have any other questions. There's imminent and optional. Pain in life is imminent. It's going to happen. Some type of pain, emotional, psychological, physical. Misery is optional. Challenges, imminent. We're going to face challenges. Being stressed over our challenges is optional. Control, imminent. People trying to control us. We have certain control or limited control over life. Feeling free is optional. I know people in prison that wrote books, not physically, not personally know them, but read their books. They said, I've never felt more free in my life, even though I'm behind bars. And yet people living outside, not in prison, feeling so imprisoned in their own self-doubt, and their soul is misery, right? So freedom, feeling free, feeling alive is also optional. Feeling stressed, imminent. We're all going to go through stress. Feeling blessed is optional. I love Joel Osteen. He says, I'm too blessed to be stressed. I choose to feel blessed, not stressed. And I'm too blessed to be stressed. But in life, you get to choose how you see things. If we live with a mindset of why me? Why is this happening to me? Look, that phrase is written on so many people's graves, millions of graves. The people that choose to say, why not me? If I'm going to be a person of influence, if I'm going to be a person of significance, if I'm going to make a difference in this world, why not me? If it's going to happen to anybody, let it happen to me. If it's going to allow me to grow, to be challenged, to be stretched, to evolve. So switch, instead of why me, why not me? And see that whatever's coming your way, we can see it as a stumbling block, right? Or a stepping stone that will get us next to the next level.
Amazing. Well, Sam, thank you so much for all your knowledge, your wisdom this morning. It's a topic that I believe a lot of people wanted to hear today. And I appreciate you for being here and taking the time to be with us.
Rima, I appreciate you. Continue on your path. You're making a difference in people's world. I love the program, Real Talk, and I hope it continues to grow, to reach out millions and millions of people, not just here in the US, but all over the world, because you're definitely opening eyes and changing lives.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate the opportunity in your show.
Thank you so much. You have an amazing day, and hopefully we'll have you in the future as well if you'd like to.
I would be honored anytime, any topic. I would be happy to.
Thank you so much, Sam. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks. Bye.